never heard of the Millennium Falcon?
Should I have?
It's the ship that made the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs.
The cave is collapsing.
There's no cave.
What?
Get back to the ship!
Where are you going? Come back! Certainly has courage.
What good will it do us if he gets himself killed?
But they're gonna kill her!
Better her than me. I got a bad feeling about this.
Really bad feeling about this.
I don't know who you are or where you came from. From now on, you do as I tell you, okay?
You know, sometimes I amaze even myself.
That doesn't sound too hard.
You stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerve herder.
Who's scruffy looking?
9 billion names of pod.
From Atlanta,
only 3 parsecs to the beach.
It's the 9 Billion Names of Pod with Dan Bauman and Michael Reed. I'm Dan Bauman.
I'm also a sassy woke robot.
So, let's talk about some stuff.
All right.
Well, we finally got here. We are finally doing the long-awaited Solo, a Star Wars story. Review, discussion,
meandering diatribe, whatever. Yeah, if you're looking for a scene by scene, dissection of a film, stop right now.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Yeah, we don't really do that. We jump around to the
end. And we miss
end.
big chunks, then we talk about after the podcast.
Exactly. Oh, we forgot to talk about, yeah.
And we're joined by our buddy Paul McPherson.
Yo, what's going on? How y'all doing?
He is Sith as fuck.
He is indeed Sith AF, as his T-shirt says.
Currently, I am Sith AF. I'm a Gemini, and I also have a Jedi AF as well.
There you go. Whoa, playing both sides. Does that mean you're extra powerful Jedi because you can bounce back and forth between the light and the dark?
Yeah,
sure.
Red saber, green saber, red saber, green saber.
No, he'll get.
I want a white saber.
He'll get a Darth Maul double-edged one with one green.
There
one
you go.
Yeah.
Speaking of Maul.
Yeah.
Maul.
Let's first of all let's put the standard disclaimer. Hey, if you haven't seen Han Solo, and judging by the box office, there's probably a lot of you. We're gonna spoil the crap out of it.
Yeah.
And if you think, I'll listen just a little bit. We're going to jump around a lot, so we may talk about the big reveals at the end of the film or the middle of the film. So stop now, go and see it. Disney needs your money, and then come back to us.
Yeah, Disney is really hurting.
Disney
see, okay,
that's
the first thing.
Instead of making billions and billions and billions of dollars, they're only making billions and billions of dollars.
This whole weird thing about it being a failure is mind-boggling.
Well, by comparison to the other films, it's not a failure, it's just soft. It's just soft as far as the box office goes.
That's fine, but it's not going to destroy the franchise and bring Disney down, and everyone's like wringing their hands. Oh Lord, we failed.
The big thing they're talking about, and there may be something to it for some people. For me, I'll take a new Star Wars film every month, but the last chapter movie was only 5 months before,
right.
And they were saying maybe we oversaturated a bit, and I went, isn't the plan to do, one film a year, and you just, kind of bunched it up because of the problems? And, so if this means that we don't get Boba Fett for a little bit longer.
Well, I read somebody said
young.
Somebody on Twitter today said, I for one am looking forward to 18 months until episode 9, just to get a break. And I was like, yeah, when we were kids, when the saga was coming out, it was 3 years, which in kid years was 100.
Exactly.
And and then it was dozens and dozens of years before the not 19 before the prequels, right. and then when was Revenge of the Sith? It was like 2000. I mean, it was.
I blocked it from my memory.
Well over a decade before we got to here, and
right.
Now, yes, we're getting one a year, and it is almost too much, but it isn't.
For some people, it is. For people like us, if they want to do a new one, if they got it ready and it's high quality every month, I will go every month.
Right.
But because they have all the tie-ins, you've seen the tie-ins.
I've seen the tie-ins.
Paul came with his Denny's commemorative Millennium Falcon cup.
Yep.
With Lando Calrissian on it. And there's a lot of tie-ins because it's very what's the word?
Toyetic.
Toyetic. There you go. It's very toyetic.
There's even tie-ins with sports.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
There's a lot of commercials with Dwayne Wade on the Falcon with Chewie.
Really?
It's hilarious.
And that I
and
hope
Nissan commercials.
I hope it shows up in the.
Well, every sports team.
Well, there's one for like Norton Virus. They have this futuristic thing where we're protecting your information. I'm like, God damn it! It's all done by algorithms. There's no people there with these big screens in military outfits doing that. That is bullshit.
Right.
That never happens.
But I mean, the Braves every year, every season have a Star Wars night where the 501st shows up.
Oh, that's a baseball thing.
Yeah.
They do that all around the league.
Yeah, and so there's always
right. Well, there's a certain set of people that, like myself, that if you want to put one out every month or every 6 months or every 3 months, I'll go see it because it's Star Wars, and I expect that level of quality. Now, if you start cranking out, let's talk about the spinoff of the Sarlacc solo movie. Like, I don't want to see that. Who cares? Unless Kasdan writes it. Then I'm like, all right.
That's the thing. I'll take anything Kasdan writes.
Yeah, if he writes it, I'm going, all right, Sarlacc, let's talk about it. Maybe he wasn't always in the pit. Maybe he was hanging out and fell in and said, I'll just hang out and grow and, start chomping on Boba Fett. Not.
Right.
Because he's not dead.
He's not. That's canon now. He got out in one of the comics, I think,
or
one of the books.
His backpack's got jets.
Yes.
He's Boba the Fett.
Yes, I know.
Exactly. And now that he's getting his own spin-off movie, he will no longer have to finance his vet because he'll be rolling in credits.
Well, here's the thing about that. Disney and/or Lucasfilm have not officially...
Not official.
Even the Kenobi movie is not official. Everyone's talking about, James Mangold is going to direct Boba Fett, and everybody's saying that except Disney.
Right.
And except Lucasfilm.
And, it's not official until it's official, but people can be in the know before they want to release it.
Of course.
So I'm hoping... I do want to see a Kenobi solo film, but I want... Ewan McGregor to age a bit more, get a little bit older. Let's do it 5 years from now.
For that.
It's better if you're actually
the age.
Or
just set it at the age that he is now. I'm down for that too.
Yeah, well, I mean,
let Luke be 5 years old and let him be, pushing 50.
Well, yeah. When you see at the Obi-Wan Kenobi in A New Hope is a grizzled old man.
Mm-hmm.
Luke is what? Let's say at the very oldest, 17, 18,
He's
19?
supposed to, 18 or 19 is, that that gets a little
What the hell happened to Obi-Wan Kenobi? Because he was young, virile Obi-Wan at the end of Revenge of the Sith, and he is grizzled within, let's say, 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
sitting in the desert.
I'm not looking as good as I did 20 years ago, but I am nowhere near as maybe the desert just dries you out and ages you.
Yeah, the sun does wonders, and then there's two in Tatooine.
Dear Diary, it's been 3 years now, and I'm not gonna say it's a dry heat anymore. It's just fucking hot.
Dear Diary, still hot.
Still hot. All right, well let's chomp into Solo. Let's first go around the table and give just the general overall vibe on
Let's start with our guest.
Go ahead.
Okay, so Solo. First of all, I liked it.
Okay.
I haven't had a Star Wars movie that I don't like, including Clone, but Clone is at the end. The Clone Wars there at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
Not the Clone Wars.
I mean,
well,
as much as
episode
I
two.
rag on the prequels, I still own them.
Right.
It's just that
I don't watch them as frequently or at all.
Barely at all. Sometimes I'm like, that scene. All right, let's throw it in.
What I've done, I've done the machete version where I will watch. I'll skip through and watch all the Palpatine stuff and all the Obi-Wan stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll do that and just zip through the rest of it because I don't need to see that. I like watching the Palpatine arc and I like watching Ewan McGregor be Obi-Wan. So
right.
But back to Solo.
But so yes. And then secondly, man, you guys don't know, but I'm a black guy. And
what?
Solo is like the black.
Paul McPherson. You're black. You're a black man.
I'm black and Irish.
Hey.
It's Black Tom, is what
Yeah, Black Tom.
No, but Solo is like the blackest Star Wars ever.
Which is to say, there's like two people.
No, there's more than two people.
Is there?
No, it's Woody Harrelson's girl and Lando.
Yes.
Was there? Somebody I can't remember.
Yes, and then there's okay, so
that's a main character.
No, but just in general. Like I saw black people in the background.
Nice.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough.
On the vertical ship. I don't know how that works aerodynamically,
Yeah.
but you go into the cantina.
Yeah.
Every Star Wars has a cantina scene, if you will.
course.
It's this soulful neo soul jazzy.
That's right,
Black
that's right,
singer.
There were guards, some of the guards in the
Yes,
background.
and like I said to you before we started recording, I was like, and L3. Like, I guess that's a black woman droid right there. Mm-hmm. But clearly I was wrong. It's a white woman
Played by a big old English lady.
But she comes across, in my opinion,
I
as,
thought
as a
so
black
too.
lady.
Yeah,
So did I, because I was waiting like, okay, when is Phoebe going to show up? Because I didn't know what character she was going to be.
Oh, really?
I did not. I try not to know these things ahead, and I'm waiting for her, and towards the end I'm going, oh, God, was that Elle? Ah, okay. I don't know why she took that accent exactly, because she definitely sounds like an upper-class British woman with a little sass on it.
For real.
Yeah.
Not as the droid. Right. I got
No,
you.
no, as the droid.
Oh.
No, she's regular.
Oh.
You know, she definitely has an affect in that character voice that.
I can kind of see it both ways. I can see the street black woman, and I can kind of see the upper crust, and it's a weird combination.
The way she was walking,
no,
she had
Yeah.
these hips.
Well, not in the. Oh, we are talking like no, not that kind of upper.
No,
crust. Just
no.
more like the. It's hard to explain. There's a whole thing about British
And like you said,
accents
woke.
and classic.
Yeah.
Woke.
She's
She's very woke.
She's over here just releasing all the slaves and
Yep.
And just arguing about droid rights. You know, what was it L3 letting go of the mean man's face?
yes,
She was.
man's face.
All right. So what about you, Sir Daniel?
I
Hoff?
really enjoyed it. It was exactly what I wanted it to be. It was kind of the antithesis, not in a negative way, to Rogue One, which was this is just a fun ride. I saw everything I wanted to see. I kind of didn't want to see everything. I kind of didn't want to see winning the Falcon and doing the Kessel Run and meeting Chewie. And, you know, I didn't want to blow it all there. I wanted, in case they would do some more.
But here's the thing.
They didn't know.
They didn't know if they were going to get another one.
Right. They still don't know that.
And exactly. And at the same time, why hold back something that people really want to see?
Yeah, exactly.
So
I was glad to see all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, I absolutely loved it. I had a great time, and now you.
pretty much ditto.
Yeah.
It was thoroughly enjoyable. There was a few slower parts, but that's fine. You know, it can't be nonstop action all the time.
Right, but not many. All the reviews I read were dead on, where it said the first 15 minutes is real wobbly and isn't cohesive and doesn't seem like it's going to go anywhere. And then once it get on that train, it does not stop. Literally, the train scene.
Right.
Once it goes to the end, and it's just a great ride.
Yeah, I like the whole great train robbery, thing, the whole outlaw bandit type of thing. Like they literally did it on a freaking train.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other black person, Emphas Nest.
That's right. The girl.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. She was
and that whole tribe at the end.
She's
All of them.
She's like Redbone. Isn't that the term?
That is a slang. Yes.
Oh, is it derogatory?
No, it's not derogatory.
Okay. I thought I messed up. No, because she was obviously black, but she had like the lighter
got
skin and the
freckles.
freckles, and I've always heard that called Redbone. So that's okay. All right, I want to make sure, even in space, I want to be woke.
It's okay, but it's almost it's not derogatory at all.
Right.
But I hate to say it like this, but it's almost like the N word, but not. It doesn't have that like we say it.
Perhaps it's
like we would say Redbone, but you wouldn't say Redbone.
Okay,
but it wouldn't be.
What would I say?
You just say
light
you
skinned,
probably wouldn't say.
Well, because the thing is the
you
freckles.
Would say light skin though. You would just say light skin.
The
That's
freckles
what I'm saying.
is what okay. Because she had kind of reddish hair. All right.
Yeah, keep digging, man. Keep digging.
I'll just pull the cover over the hole, and I'll just. Oh, look, a Sarlacc. Yay.
But yes, there were definitely
yes.
more black people in the tribe, and that's a really cool thing. I'm glad that they're
suddenly
doing that.
Lucasfilm has discovered more than one black person in space.
Right.
Yes.
And there we go. So that's a good thing. We find, now for all we know, there could be a lot more black people in space, but they've always had helmets and gear on and stuff that obscure their face. We don't know.
Yeah, you see the one guy in Empire Strikes Back running with the ice cream machine, and it's only for like 36 frames, and then he's gone.
There we go. Diversity. Check.
Yeah, done.
They only said we had to do 24 frames, but we did 36. That's how woke we are.
1980.
80 for Empire. Yeah. So, let's talk about Lando. I thought he was absolutely perfect in it.
It was one of those things where
I could hear the cadence. That just was like, I was expecting him to go, works every time.
Yeah.
So I heard the cadence, but he would go in and out of that cadence. Did you notice that?
A little bit.
Every now and then he would be more...
But keep in mind, in Empire, he wasn't under duress and stuff going on. It was kind of consistent a little bit.
Yeah.
So you didn't really get much of a range out of Lando
it was some
in
of the
Empire.
cadence, but it was also the timbre of his voice, because his first line, he brought his voice way down, get a little closer to Billy D, and it was like dead on.
Yes,
and then as he got some more into the movie, he was more Donald Glover's voice, because his voice is not. I mean, Billy D. Williams does not have a terribly deep voice, but it's a little bit deeper than Donald Glover's.
Well, keep in mind, this is younger Lando.
Exactly.
So
exactly,
his voice would have been a little.
Well, when they announced this
his voice didn't drop yet.
In space, your balls don't drop until your 30s. Yeah.
Well, when they announced this movie, I mean, it was like they're idiots if they don't cast Donald Glover as Lando, and it was one of those fan things where it's like, holy shit, they actually did it, and there couldn't have been anybody better suited for that role.
Oh God,
by a long shot.
At least nobody with a name.
Yeah, that young, like it was just the perfect confluence.
Right age,
of
right everything.
Right age, like brilliance and enough of a star to bring
Well, and unbeknownst to Lucasfilm, when they hired him, around the time Solo came out, another little project of Donald Glover's would come out.
The weekend before.
This is America. So, that raised his media presence up. Probably more than Solo, I would say. Really.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh, yeah.
This is America video is in a league of its own.
Yeah, it's
So good on.
I would
good
definitely
on them.
agree with that.
Let's talk about. Oh, did you have something else?
Well, just I thought his portrayal was perfect. I mean, one of my favorite gags that.
Oh,
go ahead. What
is it? The capes?
Not the capes.
Okay,
the capes were good, and the cape room was good.
I mean, it was custom made.
But
I could just totally see that. He has a cape fetish. It's all about the capes for that guy.
But the way that they retconned and made something work, which was
are we talking about
Han as opposed to
Han
Han?
and Han. Yes, they did that a couple times.
Because in Empire, he's like, why is he calling him Han the whole time? And I was like, oh, it's a dig. They made it a little fuck you for the whole, and it was gorgeous. Perfect.
Now, another thing.
Is this Sabak?
They
Sabak.
Yeah. Another thing they retconned is they finally, let's get to the big reveal. Well, the second big reveal.
Mm-hmm.
They finally explained how doing the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs is totally legit.
Yes.
It is not incorrect.
Well, they just fixed the mistake that Lucas wrote.
And they made it work.
No one will ever can't pick up on that. No.
Nerd culture was in its infancy in 19...
Still.
Yeah. So by now we are fully,
Now, one of the now decommissioned EU novels, or in more than one, they explained that as a similar thing where it was around Kessel, there were like black holes or something, and you had to kind of the same thing, do hyperspace jumps in a certain order to get to Kessel, and it was relatively similar.
Right.
It was the only way they could do it. I mean, it's parsecs, it's distance, it's not time. So
exactly. And I thought that was genius.
It was well done,
That
too.
was genius.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the things I was looking for. It's like, I want to see a number of things, and we'll get to them, but explaining the Kessel Run.
And then when they were done, and he's trying to brag about it, he's like, "Oh yeah, I did it in less than 12 parsecs." And then Chewie does something.
If you round down,
If you round down. It was like 13.9 or something.
Yeah.
It was like, if you round down.
Let's talk about the meet cute with Chewie. As soon as they said put him down with the Beast, I was going, "Oh my God, is it going to be Chewie?" Because I know he's going to show up at some point.
Weirdly enough, my brain went, "Do they have a Rancor?"
That's what I was thinking. Maybe not a Rancor, but something else.
I was like, "Are they going to pull out a
What's
Rancor?"
going on?
I immediately went to Chewie.
And once he got there, I was like, "Oh, idiot! It's Chewie. This is where it happens."
And the whole, saving his life and doing the stuff and how they just work together. I'm just like, I like that.
There again in the Decommissioned EU. There's always been stories of how they met, and it was always kind of vague. Like Han was an Imperial cadet officer, whatever he was, and he freed Chewie from some kind of bondage.
Well, I've got that trio of novels like Han Solo at Star's End and
Splinter of the Mind's Eye.
No, that's not part of the trilogy.
Oh, okay.
These are Han and Chewie.
Right.
Han and Chewie. I think Daly wrote. Maybe?
I think you're right.
Something like that. I have it in my book collection. Splinter of the Mind's Eye is a whole other thing. That theoretically, I think, was supposed to be the follow-up to A New Hope that was written in advance. And because he didn't know if he was going to get another shot at the Star Wars universe. And there was he let him write a book, I believe, and then when it was huge, they went another direction for Empire.
Yeah.
So, from what I remember, it's like a jewel that can, increase the power of the Force. I'm like, that seems a little hackneyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. So, the Chewie meet cute. We like that. We like that. And what else?
Well, Paul, what other things did you dig in the movie?
Well, we were talking about the Kessel Run just now, and I liked how. Well, first of all, I didn't realize that the Millennium Falcon had an escape pod.
I think he said that Lando had one installed or something. I
didn't realize it. So I'm seeing these commercials. Like, why does the Millennium Falcon have this?
Yeah, why does it look
to
different?
Like, what is
I've
going
made a
on?
lot of special modifications myself, kid. Remember that?
Right. Yeah.
From Mos Eisley. Yeah. So as soon as I saw the Falcon, I went, that doesn't quite look. Oh, special modifications. Got it.
And I like how it was used to help save them. So I don't actually think they could do the Kessel Run again.
Probably not.
In
not on the fly again. No, he'd have to be set.
Well, and you know what? It's entirely possible that L's navigation, that's now a part of the Falcon, is the reason why he's the best pilot. Sure, but the navigation is pretty key. And when you've got the top-notch navigation system, the Navicomputer.
I think
another geniusly named thing that Lucas came up with.
Hey, it's better than some of his names. But I told you about this, but I had a controversial theory about this movie before it came out.
Okay.
And I was sitting one day and I was like, every time he talks about the Kessel Run, he says the Millennium Falcon is the ship that made the Kessel Run in less than 12 hours.
Yeah.
At no point did he ever say that he did it.
Right.
And I was like, it would be really great if it was like. At first I thought Chewie, and then at first I thought maybe it was Lando who actually did the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs, and you were like, it should be Chewie, and I was like, that would be amazing if Chewie's the one who actually did the piloting for it.
Right.
I rather enjoyed the moment, and so did everyone else in the theater. The first time that Chewie sat in the co-pilot seat.
Oh yeah,
the audience cheered because that was it. That was
when Kira jumped up and said, "Chewie, that's all yours."
Yeah, and Chewie's in the back. I'm like going,
no
one puts Chewie in the back. What's going on here?
Well, he looks over to Kira and says, "Yeah, I need you to do such and such," and she's pausing, and Chewie just like, "Man, bump this."
Yeah,
he takes care of everything.
And that was a great line too. Yeah. When'd you learn how to fly? 190 years old.
Yeah,
you look great.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So, do we know how long Wookiees are supposed to live in total?
I mean, but how old is he now though? If he's 190 in Solo,
200 and
what?
40, 30, something
30,
something
like
around there.
I don't know. Luckily, they don't hem themselves in like, star date, blah, blah, blah. They don't have that in Star Wars, so they can fudge years and numbers.
I always thought in the Star Wars storybook, which you probably have up there.
I certainly do.
I always thought in the front page it had Chewie's age, and I always thought it was way older than that. I remember it somewhere I read as a kid, which could be completely false, that he was like 800 years old or something. But I think they may have flipped that to make Yoda that old, or they just never bothered with it. It was just somebody wrote in a thing. And
if it's the Star Wars storybook, it's at the very beginning.
Yeah, where they have pictures of everybody.
When things were just kind of, not quite. The universe wasn't dialed in, shall we say?
Or like locked in as this is what it is.
Really, the universe was never really locked in until Disney took over and said, "You're canon, you're not canon. Here's our plan. Now we go."
Yeah,
I mean, really. I mean, because up until Disney took over, there was all this, extracurricular literature and stuff that was sanctioned by Lucasfilm. But as soon as Disney took over, they said, "You're in, you're out," and basically, it's mostly everything is out. Because they want to be able to do the films the way they want and not have to reconcile, limit their creativity to some book that was written before they even bought the company.
Yeah. And I remember that back when the Timothy Zahn books came out in the 90s. That was kind of when the EU really exploded, and that's when Lucas opened the gates. And the rule was you can't do anything before New Hope. You can't do any of the old stuff. It's all got to be in the future. And because he was like, I'm not doing these movies. I'm not doing 7, 8, 9. So do whatever you want. And then Disney was like, that's not going to work. That's not going to work.
We're going to have to take care of that. And I've been on the record, and I'll still say it. I'm looking forward to the next chapter, and then I want the Skywalkers to be gone.
Well, be done. Yeah, we did the
story to be gone.
End the story, and let's
and let's face it. When it comes to Skywalkers, they are all gone.
They will be. Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to have Leia.
Right.
Luke is dead, now of course probably a Force ghost, and that's
most likely.
And you know what? If they want to bring back Luke in a brief cameo as a Force ghost in something,
it doesn't need it. I mean, it just depends on where the universe goes.
If the story needs it, but hopefully they'll write it to where it's a big universe.
Well, the Skywalkers aren't all gone. You still have Kylo.
That's true. He
counts. He's half Skywalker, half Solo.
He is a direct descendant of Darth Vader.
No, that's true.
Of Anakin Skywalker.
So. Maybe Luke will do more Jay-Z brush your shoulder off moves to him as a Force ghost. Like, you can't touch me now, bitch.
Yeah. What you doing now? Yeah. Just hanging around and making him crazy.
Yeah, kind of like how Jar Jar came back to torture Vader in that robot chicken.
Right.
Now we can be together forever, Annie. Oh God, I should have never killed you. So, what about you?
All the above. I mean, I really loved. I loved the meeting of how they did it. I watching that as a technical and theater person. I was like, wow, do I feel bad for Yunus Samato? That's I think you have pronounced his name. The guy in the Chewie suit now. Oh, okay. I was like, not to be. I mean, being in that suit has got to be bad enough. Being in that suit caked in mud must have been miserable.
I mean, it looked like
for
it was,
weeks.
It was overcast outside, but man, if the outdoor temperature was more than about 65, he was baking in there,
and just covered in just that must have been
it
horrendous.
Looked overcast. I'm sure those are all fog machines. So.
What? You mean it's not real? What?
I was like I said, watching the first 10 minutes of the movie, I was like, I don't know. There was just Kessel looked really weird. It looked kind of sloppy. It didn't look. I mean, Corellia. It looked like
what?
The shipyards. It just looked like they went down to the docks in Brooklyn and started filming. And I was like, this doesn't look enough.
Spacey enough. Well, listen, this is the
and it makes sense.
This is the grimy version of space travel. It's not all sleek and awesome in the space.
Yeah.
This is where the grease and the guts and the happen to make the ships to
right.
I'm sure there's a clean hangar where they make the Nubian ships. That look like a big silver teardrop.
Right.
That's all CGI. And stop hurting me, George. Stop hurting me.
George, the bad man can't hurt you anymore.
I know. Well, let's get to the heart of the matter. Let's talk about Han.
Yeah.
Han. I can't remember.
Han.
Like Ermint Verlatrout. I can't remember his name. What's his name?
Who?
The guy who plays Han.
Oh, Alden Ehrenreich.
Alden Ehrenreich. Okay, there you go.
Like Ermin.
You weren't even close.
I couldn't
watching
even...
Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
Ermin Trout.
That's exactly Ermin Trout. You got me there. Exactly.
I thought he did a really good job. There were all those horror stories when they shit canned Lord and Miller that he can't act and they had to bring in an acting coach and this and that, and I was like, he's got it. He's a dorky, younger, excited Han Solo. He's got a bit of the swagger, but he's not grizzled and as he's a little more wide-eyed, and I liked that.
He hasn't become Han Solo yet. Really,
that Han Solo,
right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's just a kid from Corellia, just whatever.
Yeah.
And because he hooked up with, and of course I forgot his Woody Harrelson,
Beckett. Tobias Beckett.
Tobias Beckett. That's his. Notice
Mentor.
Notice Tobias used kid a lot.
Yep.
He picked that up
Exactly.
pretty quick.
Exactly.
So.
Sidebar:
Yeah.
Did you catch the deep episode 1 callback in that?
Besides Maul?
Besides Maul, yeah.
Tell me, I'm not right now.
When they meet, when Han and Beckett meet, he has a line where he says, "Aren't you the guy who killed Aura Singh?"
Oh,
Aura Singh is in one frame of episode 1 watching the pod race. She's a big, she's a bounty hunter. She's got a big giant gun. She's got white skin and a long ponytail. And everyone, when that movie came out, everyone was like, "Oh, who is that?" And of course, fandom blew up and they made a whole backstory for this character. And then they tied it in. He's like, "Oh yeah, well the fall killed her. I just pushed her." And I was like,
I did hear that.
And I was like, "Holy shit, that's a deep pull right there."
Well, there's another fairly deep pull. Another bounty hunter.
Boss. He said Boss.
Yeah, he just said Boss. Why did you get Boss? We could have got Boss because someone, Thandie Newton said that.
Yeah.
She's having a pretty good couple of years between
She's on
Westworld.
Yeah.
She's basically I'd say the co-lead, if not the lead. I mean, there's two.
I'm not current on this season
lead
yet.
female characters, and she is one of them.
Nice.
And it's I didn't know where they were going to be able to go with Westworld, where it would be anything like, all right, whatever. Oh, they went someplace I did not foresee, and it is amazing.
Okay.
Well, so we're not going to talk about it
because I haven't.
I'm
seen
very
it.
current.
I
will be watching the
yet.
next episode tonight,
and I haven't even started it. So we've got all the levels.
The series. Welcome. You haven't started the series.
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, let's talk about. Let's go ahead and talk about Tobias.
Yeah. I was nervous.
So was I, because I mean I like Woody Harrelson as an actor most of the time,
but my fear was, it's Woody Harrelson. It's Woody Harrelson.
Exactly.
It's Woody Harrelson. He wouldn't have been in the movie. He would have taken me out.
But you know what? He dissolved into it.
He did.
I after the first there's Woody. I just it didn't become a Woody thing.
No,
it was more like,
okay,
all right.
This is a guy. Yeah,
and it worked. It worked okay for me. I really like the crew that tried to take the ship down. I mean the train.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
that was good.
And Jon Favreau as the weird little monkey guy.
Yeah. Well, plain to type.
Right.
Exactly. I have a little bit of a problem with the processed what the hell is it called, the blue stuff,
Corellium.
Is it Corellium? No, that can't be it. That's Corellia. It's
the hyperfuel.
The hyperfuel.
Yeah, I lost it right away.
Yeah, I guess we've never really had. I mean, because Star Trek has dilithium. Everything's freaking dilithium.
Yeah, there may have been a reference to refueling somewhere, but they've never gone into detail
to what
about
the fuel
what
is,
the fuel is, and why and how,
and perhaps that made it possible for them to do what they did in this film because nothing had been established.
Right.
And the thing,
well, in all of Star Wars, the only time I hear them talking about fuel is in Rebels, because they're trying to steal fuel.
True. Yes, absolutely.
But they don't ever say what it is.
Exactly.
They just say that it is fuel and it's in these canisters.
Right.
That are much bigger than what they were carrying in this movie.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. Because some of them were like, you can put it in your pocket.
Right.
Right. It's enough to get your own ship. Like, wow.
That's a lot of fuel.
It's more reminiscent to what Han got, the unrefined. So it's super heavy. You could barely
Right.
It's more
when you refine it and break it down.
Yeah.
And if that much can power your ship for a long time, that's really important. And
yeah, being able to put a drop of it into what is it the
hyperdrive.
It's like you can't put it directly into this, but if you put it in that, it'll do whatever. And like at the end of this, why didn't he keep a little bit of that? Because that could come in real handy to get you out of certain situations.
He won it at the end. He used it to win the ship, so he still had it.
Right, and we never saw it again.
Well, we might.
Presumably, they've been using it little by little.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't know.
Maybe Chewie rigged up a thing where you don't have to sit there and carefully inject it. You can just hit a button and it'll just put a drop in, and you can. All right, that's fine.
Maybe that's what Rey was talking about in episode 7.
What was she saying?
What did she say?
Bypass.
When they got in the car, they bypassed the thing, and they both started.
Who put a compressor?
Yes,
on
that
compressor line. She bypassed
that conversation. Could be referenced.
Could be
possibly if you. Now we go back and.
I really enjoyed. I'm a sucker for the old Ben Burt sound design stuff, and that whole scene where they put the drop in the hyperdrive and it
I remember you laughed your ass.
I laughed my ass because I was like, first of all, it was a funny scene because it was like, well, we're fucked. That's Han's luck completely. It's like the Falcon just shitting out on him.
Here we go.
But the sound made it for me. I was like,
because that's the sound.
Right. One thing that almost took me out of it was in that whole sequence, they went back and used the old music, the TIE Fighter fight from Star Wars, or it was either the TIE Fighter fight from Star Wars music or the asteroid field music from Empire. Okay. It was John Williams music, and I was like, me being me, I was like, I hope this doesn't pull me out of it. It didn't, but I was like, because they used the same music in Last Jedi as well. Right. When they were flying, when the Falcon was flying through the caves.
You would expect it in Last Jedi, not necessarily in Solo, because they're supposed to be standalone. But they even referenced.
The Imperial March is referenced.
Yeah. Well, this one they didn't do it in Rogue One, but this had a long time ago in a galaxy far away. It did at the top of the movie, so I was like, weird. Okay, they went there.
Right, yes.
Because they didn't in Rogue One. They specifically said, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do a crawl. We're not going to do anything.
Well, you know what? This Solo had Star Wars characters in it, whereas Rogue One...
Star Wars known characters.
Star Wars known characters.
Canon. Not characters, but saga characters.
As saga characters, as main...
And not cameos like R2 and 3PO.
Right, or Vader for a hot second.
Yeah.
Or Leia.
Tarkin.
Tarkin.
So there was a lot of saga characters in that movie.
I think that really should be the opening for all of them because it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, don't do a crawl, don't do episodes.
The crawl is episodes.
Those are saga movies.
But Galaxy Far Far Away, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine to use. Yep. Let's talk about L.
L337.
L337. Paul, would you like to take this?
No, I mean she was very, very talky. I like how she was just talking back to people. She's trying to free the droid fights.
Mm-hmm.
Like wait, that's a restraining bolt. Oh, look at the restraining bolt.
We'll take that off. Yeah.
She's gonna get her own Netflix spinoff called Dear Human People.
Yeah, I mean, she was great.
I don't know. Go for your brothers and sisters. she lets a little.
But the whole time that was happening. So fast forward to the
Kessel?
The Kessel. Yeah. I thought something bad was gonna happen. I mean, not to her, but just something like she's like, I don't know, just go for your people, and she's causing all this chaos. I'm like,
somebody might get smashed into who knows what.
This is gonna mess up the heist,
right?
And I guess it did for her.
Yeah.
It did for her. Although I find it interesting as they were, getting on the Falcon. Lando comes out of the ship like, what's going on? There's lasers everywhere. He's like, all right, pew pew pew. Like. It seemed he was very blasé about it, and so was Han to a certain degree. It's like there are people firing some at you. It's just you seem one laser hit could really kill you, and you're not, But I mean, this is the Han that chased after the stormtroopers on the Death Star.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe a little bit ballsy, maybe a little bit stupid.
Both, yeah. A decent combination of all. And I liked how, how Lando was all cool and everything, but he went after his droid. He went after his girl. He went and got her.
Well, because
they
El
do.
El said, he's got a thing for me, but it can never work.
That was a hilarious little bit.
But how? How does it? She's like, oh, but it does. And I'm like, wait.
I don't want to know.
I need 5 minutes into this. What's going on here?
I want to stay far away from that. What they do.
You know, somewhere there's some online fan.
Oh yeah, there's some weird ass
about
slash
some weird
porn about
Lando getting it on with Elle.
I mean, Disney's killing kids in Marvel, right? Because Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
Disney's killing kids. Now Disney's alluding to porn, robot porn over here in Star Wars.
Yep.
What's Disney doing?
Well,
they're loosening up. That's for sure.
It's a big galaxy. There's room for robot porn. There's room for black people. There's room for everything.
Yes.
Come on,
It's a big galaxy.
It's a big galaxy.
Yes.
There's so much left to be discussed. I want a spin-off film of the monster on Hoth. There's a whole story there.
Oh, the Wampa?
The Wampa. Yeah, the Wampa.
No, I really hope they do give Donald Glover his own movie.
Well, let's talk about that then.
Okay.
Box office.
Okay. Yeah. Again,
what did they do? Do we know?
It did 35 this weekend.
Yeah, it dropped from first place. Amongst
it didn't get second again. First place 2 weeks in a row.
Nope. It dropped 68% for the second weekend, which is a staggering drop. And that was a drop from first place with no big name competition that were debuting. Now, June's going to be brutal because there's a lot of big films coming out that people are looking forward to, apparently. I'm not, but okay.
All right.
Ocean's 8. Yeah, I don't think that's
Ocean's
really
8.
going to be a competition for Han,
No.
but anyway. I mean, it's successful, but the thing is that they're projecting that the film, for its entire theatrical run, will probably make about $500 million, and its domestic gross will barely cover the production budget, let alone all the promotion and stuff. Now, if you're looking at just theatrical, it's soft. It's not a failure. It's soft. But when you add in all the merchandising, the home video, the streaming and stuff, Disney's fine.
Right. And again, it goes back to my my theory about Guardians of the Galaxy when they did that. Disney was like, yeah, we just made $1 billion with the Avengers. Go make your Little Raccoon and Tree movie. It'll be fine.
Right.
We'll write it off if it goes away.
Right.
I know Star Wars is a crown jewel in Disney's crown now. But
It's in
again,
the gauntlet.
Yeah, in the glove, right. But it's not.
What Iger sitting there like, with his Infinity Gauntlet.
Come on,
Marvel.
come on,
I've
DC,
got
come on.
Pixar. I've got Lucasfilm. I will soon roll. Roseanne,
I've got them.
Destroy.
I've got the Muppets. I've got it all.
Hey,
but
do something with the Muppets. Okay.
that's a different show. But yes, Star Wars should be the biggest thing. But it's okay. It's not going to. Again, they're not going to cancel the rest of the franchise.
Oh God, no.
But
No. If anything, they might space them out a bit because, like we were saying before, it's only been 5 months since the last.
Yeah, this was
episode.
a weird change,
right? So
because
I think it's because of the I don't think did they originally intend it to be that close.
No,
they had to move it because of the delays.
What originally happened, from what I remember, is that Force Awakens was also supposed to be a May release, but because of production and Harrison Ford getting hurt and all that stuff, they pushed it back to Christmas. And then it did such huge box office that they owned Christmas. Disney was like, well, that's what we're going to do. And for some reason, they wanted to go back to the roots and go back to the May release for this. Which is weird because they kept saying, "Oh, it's going to be May 25th." It's like you just fired your directors and the movie's not done. How? And they're like, "No, it's going to." And they put it out.
They did it.
They got it done.
They backed up another
Opie
truckload of money and said, "Make this happen." Yeah, and I could see what they were trying to do. They want to own the summer and they want to own Christmas. And this was not the film. It will not own summer.
But here's the thing.
No.
Infinity War owned summer.
Yeah.
They did fine.
And-
They do own every quadrant.
Considering that summer just started the other day.
Yeah.
Infinity War's been out for about 3 weeks.
They own winter, Black Panther. They own summer for Infinity War.
They're fine.
They're
This
they're
is
getting
all
summer's dessert.
Right,
with
this
Solo.
is all Disney. This is all Disney, so it's like, oh, only one of our films did $1 billion in 3 weeks.
Incredibles 2 is...
Yeah, that's coming up. That's next month.
That's Pixar, and that's Disney.
That's Pixar Disney.
So
they're gonna be
they're
fun.
good.
Let's go on to Ron Howard coming in because with Justice League, as you could see the seams in that movie where it was cut to pieces and like scotch taped together. That was an awful job by everybody. This movie is a movie.
Yeah.
This movie worked. Like it didn't feel like there were out of place scenes.
Now, let me ask you a question. Had was it Lord and Taylor?
Lord and Miller.
Lord and
Taylor is
Lord
a
and Taylor's
department store.
It's a British real. Yeah,
It's an overpriced department.
I was going back to my ab fab roots there. Had they actually started production?
Oh yes, there was
filming?
footage. Yes, for quite a while.
Okay,
many weeks.
I didn't know if they had like just started.
No.
Okay,
they were deep in it. They were halfway through production, and the thing that surprised me the most was at the end of the movie, it was directed by Ron Howard. It was not directed by Ron Howard and Phil Lord and
now
Chris
because
Miller,
I think it
Tim
has
Miller.
the Directors Guild rules have a percentage thing and this and that. There's a whole thing.
Yeah, they got exec producer credits on the movie, but I was really surprised that it wasn't some weird conglomeration.
Well, it's entirely possible that they completely reshot everything they did, or the stuff that was shot was like, for lack of a better term, B-roll, B-unit stuff that wasn't...
second unit. And
yeah,
all that.
So
I don't know, and that's one of those things I don't think we'll ever know what actually happened and how much of it was...
Those are the kind of things they're not going to let us know on the extras on the Blu-ray.
Yeah, Disney is... Yeah, exactly. Disney is not going to fuck around with
They'll
that.
show the ha-ha-ha bloopers, but they're not going to show, oh, God, here's the moment that we told them they were fired.
Right.
And the cameers were rolling.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
that's not going to happen.
How bad do you have to fuck up to get tossed off of a big budget film like that? Because this isn't.
The rumors.
I hear they were doing too much comedy.
Exactly.
That's
they were
like
making
improv.
it basically
Yeah.
the Lego movie with Han Solo.
Right.
Essentially.
And the Lego movie's brilliant, but it's not.
But it's not.
And I think part of it was also they were getting away from the script, and it's like you don't get away from a Lawrence Kasdan script.
No.
Especially a Lawrence Kasdan Star Wars script.
Yes.
Fucking do that movie that we made here.
We're not going to have him around forever. We want him to be happy and writing as much Star Wars
from what
as we can.
what I understand, that was kind of the incentive that JJ gave him to co-write Force Awakens. He's like, I don't know, and Lucasfilm was like, what do you want to do? Like, what can we offer you? And he said, I would love to write a Han Solo movie. And they were like, done. And that's how that all happened.
Oh.
That's what I heard.
Kind of like, hey, Travolta, we'll let you do, we'll let you do Battlefield Earth if you'll do these films because you're hot from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Boy, not that I'm comparing Han, a Solo story, to Battlefield Earth. Because,
No.
oh my God.
Yeah, I've tried watching that movie.
Battlefield Earth is well, it's what happens after Bantha fodder is consumed. It comes out the other end of the Bantha.
Oof.
Yeah, that's... It's good to watch if you're drunk or just watch it with a smarmy attitude and I'm able to laugh at everything because it's really just so stupid.
Right.
Anyway.
So let's talk about Emilia Clarke as Kira.
Sexy. She's dead sexy.
Daenerys in space.
Exactly.
In space. Thank God she had dark hair because you don't do the blonde... she's a fine actress.
Yeah,
she's fine,
and it was a good character. I thought it was really well done.
One thing they didn't really let us know: what did she do to get off Corellia, and what is her thing with Drayden Voss?
She just said that she owes him because she got into some bad trouble that he got her out of.
Such as.
hopefully we'll find out in a sequel.
Because there is a moment there. There's a physical familiarity between those two.
Yeah. There's many implications as to what's going on.
And of course, Han couldn't be thinking that, what was he gone for 7 years?
It was several. It was at
many
least
years.
3.
It was at least 3. It was about 3.
I think it was 3.
I think
it said 3 years later.
3 years later, and he wanted to be there sooner than 3.
Right.
But it's been 3 since he's seen her.
And what's she gonna do? Just kind of hang around and
she
do nothing?
did probably what she had to do to get off the island, off the planet.
Did she have a fake bomb too?
Although, didn't I notice the thermal detonators show up in this film?
Yes, she did them.
Yeah,
she threw them.
Yep.
So it's nice to see the tech is consistent across.
I thought that was also a funny bit when the weird slug lady orphanage, whatever, at the beginning, and Han was like, "This is a thermal detonator." I was like, he just made that with his mouth, and he was like, "You just made that with your mouth."
She said it.
I was like, that was really blatant.
It's a rock.
It's a rock. No, it's a thermal detonator. I'm gonna throw it to the window.
Oh, that was wonderful. That was
so.
wonderful.
At speaking about Kira, is it Kira or Kiera? Kira.
I think it's Kira.
Kira.
I think it's Q
QI-RA. I think is what it was. I believe that's what it is.
Or apostrophe, maybe.
Apostrophe.
Yeah. So at what point do you think she came up with a plan to get rid of Dryden Voss and to take his place
on the fly?
But in
the scene,
in the ship, or out on the sand?
Could have been. My thought would be that's kind of an underlying always.
She's always trying
to figure out a way, and then saw her opportunity and went with it.
Yeah,
that's the kind of thing I would think.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now we have barely hinted at it, but let's go ahead and get to it. Now that Drayden Voss is out of the way, who basically, he's a dick and whatever. Here's your standard issue, space thug. Nothing really much to talk about him. No, he's not going to be a super collectible.
But I will say, I enjoyed Paul Bettany's performance.
Oh no, he was great
because he was he was actually concerned. He wasn't a one-note villain. He was actually legitimately concerned about Beckett and Kira, and he was like, "Don't fuck with me," and don't. I know you're lying to me and all that stuff. But it wasn't just I'm the big bad evil guy. So.
Because he's not the biggest evil in the situation.
That was the one thing I was like, because they way telegraphed that at the beginning. It's like, you know who I work for and what can happen. And I was like, okay, I wonder what that's going to be. It's not what
okay, so you didn't have a guess.
I didn't have a guess. I thought it was going to be Jabba, obviously.
Oh, okay.
That was my guess, was like, oh, he works for Jabba. And
Jabba makes an appearance in the dialogue.
Yeah, but they never...
But not telling who it is.
Yeah.
Just a gangster on Tatooine.
Yeah, a guy. There. And I think someone mentions the Hutts as a crime family.
In another scene.
In another context,
But yes, so... And that... Oh, of course. And that's how we segue into... Got it.
Right.
Let's go ahead and say it. Darth frickin' Maul is back.
And actually,
he's just Maul.
He's just at
that point he's just
Maul.
Maul.
That's his name. Yeah, it's just Maul.
Yeah, he's
he's
half the Maul he used to be.
Yeah.
Because of what we've watched and you haven't. Yeah. He's Maul.
He's Maul.
There's no Darth.
There's no Darth. And the thing I found a little why when he's revealed, people like go, is that Darth Maul? And then he has his double saber and shows it in the thing like, now do you get it? I'm the same character.
Yeah, the horns and the face didn't tip
exactly.
You off.
The voice, the horns, the face.
They did really kind of show that his new version of his.
Exactly. Look, I'm here. I'm still doing things.
His other one got kind of cut in half,
and I've got
he did.
robotic legs now.
He does, yeah.
So or maybe he has one of those little, the Futurama, head in a jar, like his torso's just sitting on a pallet, on a little platform that's kind of hovering.
It kind of was like that.
Yeah, they explained it in Clone Wars. They show him and he's fucking crazy when they find him.
I can imagine he's a little upset.
He's upset, but he's just completely insane.
He's gone crazy of being upset for however many years by himself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, what was he falling for 3 or 4 years before I finally hit bottom? Because, one of the reasons, with one exception in A New Hope, when someone gets struck by a lightsaber, there's no blood.
No,
because it cauterizes
immediately
the wound.
cauterizes, yeah.
And that makes sense. Now, I don't know how blood came out of the what's his name's arm when he got cut off by Obi-Wan in the cantina in A New Hope.
Yeah.
It's like
they hadn't
quite figured out all the
when Ponda Baba gets his arm lopped off.
Neil deGrasse Tyson wasn't around in the zeitgeist at that point. Going,
he was in high school at the
yeah,
time.
it's like,
I think
that's not. He might have said that to himself. That can't happen because it's a light, But he wasn't on the national stage to go. Lucas, you messed up on that one.
So I was very happy to see that it was Ray Park, reprising his role, and it made me laugh that it wasn't his voice again, but it wasn't the original voice either.
It's the voice of the guy doing it in Rebels.
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
In episode 1, it was Peter Serafinowicz, who
Well, let's face it, he had a total of 3 lines in the entire...
2, I think.
2? Yeah. So, at last we will have our revenge on
blah, blah, blah. And it was Peter Serafinowicz, who is the Tick on Amazon now. And he's also he's a well-known British actor,
right?
And he was the voice of Darth Maul in the original. But I was very happy to see they've been really good about that stuff. Disney's been really good about that, like using their people instead of Total Left Turn. There's a new movie coming out called Christopher Robin. With Winnie the Pooh, and
I saw that. I lost my shit. It
in a good way or a bad way?
No, in a good way.
Oh, okay.
I just went, oh.
Well, again,
because Pooh sounded like Pooh.
And it's Jim Cummings, the guy who's been doing Pooh for Disney for 25 years. They didn't get some famous name to take up these roles.
Oh, God, no.
So they're but I mean, Disney is really good about using their people. And it's Sam Witwer, I want to say. I remember seeing it, and I was like, I bet that's the guy who does it in the cartoons.
The only thing I didn't like about the trailer is there wasn't enough Tigger.
He's in the second trailer.
Oh, there's a second trailer?
There is.
Stop recording. Let's watch it now.
When does this release?
I think
not seen this.
Summer, June, July.
I have not.
Yeah, it's called Christopher Robin. Yeah, we'll pull it up when we're done recording.
It touched me. I just like, oh
yeah.
And I'm not exactly like a huge Winnie the Pooh fan. I remember watching him as a kid. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Some fun songs. But I watched that and I was just like, okay, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
And
it's basically
so
Hook.
you'll go, and if you have kids, you'll take them.
Well, the film comes out in 2 months, and I need to do a whole lot of other things to get kids.
Right, 7-year-old kids.
I suppose I could probably get kids, but it would probably end up in my being jailed or murdered.
Depends on how you get them.
What I mean is our age group. So you would go, regardless, if because we're all touched by Winnie the Pooh and such. And all these other characters back in the day. They're all coming back.
Because no matter what movie he's in, he is always Winnie the Pooh in it.
Yeah.
I tried. So you've seen Deadpool too?
I have.
Yes.
Okay,
so there you go.
There you go.
Yes.
Okay.
I was going to bring up Zeitgeist earlier, but I was like, no.
Yeah. Okay.
But back to Solo.
We were talking about a film.
Yeah, I was really I think everybody laughed out loud when Clint Howard showed up because he's in every one of Ron Howard's movies, and I think everybody cheered when Warwick Davis showed up.
Oh yeah, I
as
certainly
just
did.
A guy without makeup
and
on,
he got a line at the end, like something. It's
did.
all loaded up.
He did, or something.
Like
but
nothing huge.
He actually got to be
a
just a character, not in a suit, because he's in Last Jedi as well as some horrible little thing in a full-on suit that you don't see him.
Not this time.
It was like, good. Let him just be a character.
Yeah, the audience definitely reacted to Clint and to him. So that was nice. Those little touches, you're just like,
a little bit of fan service goes a long way.
Oh, definitely. Mm-hmm. Well, because the fanboys can be rather critical. We're definitely on the side of the Force, so we're
I am.
And unless something is absolutely egregious, we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. There are some that are like, no, that's the wrong shade of red. It's supposed to be more red. It's less red, and you're wrong.
And the online quote unquote Star Wars community has gotten just really shitty. Like I used to belong to
Definitely.
a couple of Facebook groups.
Yeah.
Just for just to see what the hell it was about, and it's just gotten ugly and how terrible the movies are and how Disney. And I was like, I am out of this. I'm gonna I'm assuming younger person had posted something about I'm really disillusioned at the way the community is talking about these movies, and I think I'm gonna stop watching the movies and just get away from the whole thing. And I was like, it's not someone I knew, and I had to comment. I said, watch the movies and enjoy them. Don't
just leave this community.
Leave the online community. Watch
Stop
the films.
talking to people and like what you like. You know.
And by the way, listen to my podcast.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. You're smarter than I am. Damn.
Yeah. Why aren't you promoting our podcast on?
Damn it. So yeah, it's
but
like,
you know what? We'll start getting reviews, 1-star reviews. Like, you forgot to mention this.
Yeah,
and
you
didn't
guys
like
are
that.
fucking terrible.
Exactly. That's the thing. Everyone says the internet has brought out the worst in everybody. I say no. The worst was always there. Just we had no way of knowing about the
right
worst.
now they just
now
everybody
it's
has a
everywhere.
platform.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's like it's not that police brutality just started happening once people have cell phone cameras. Like, no, it's been happening for a long time. It's just now we get to see it.
Yeah.
So, yay technology.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the big screen remake of 1984. It is due.
Yeah.
It is due. Well, hey, listen, if they can remake Robin Hood 30 times every generation.
Oh, goodness.
There's another one coming out.
Yes, I saw that.
my
I
God.
did see that.
It looked like Guy Ritchie directed it.
For the first minute or first 30 seconds of the trailer, I thought it was based on. There's a game called Thief. That's a video game that I was like, oh, okay, it's a video game movie, and I was like, oh my God, it's fucking Robin Hood again.
Yeah. I'm
Did they not learn from that fucking King Arthur movie that came out last year?
Well, the one that Guy Ritchie did.
Yeah.
The one that just died.
I was like, I don't even know what this is.
Yeah. Well, yeah, basically he's doing his gangster film, just sending it back 500 years or whatever.
I was like, okay, I get what you're trying to do, but no.
But why are you doing it?
Yeah, why? Stop.
Just because I know what you're trying to do doesn't mean it should be done.
Right.
Just because you can do a thing doesn't mean you should do a thing. So yeah. No, I don't. I mean, I'm a fan, but you're a super fan. I've never been on any of those. Those
and
sites.
I had to get away
because there's nothing I want to know, and there's nothing that I could contribute that would be new and fresh, so I just stay off of that.
I just want to see what people are talking about sometimes. And
Yeah.
I was like, I've got to get away from this.
Well, what I used to do
me hate
is
everything.
The IMDb used to have message boards underneath all, like if you want to talk about, 8.5 by Fellini, there would be a comment section on that page, and they closed it down last year. Apparently, because people,
are awful.
Well, people are awful. I'd go and, go to certain films and see, because I would go there and say, what are people saying about this film? And half of it is like, oh my God, I know she's only 12, man, but she's hot. And I'm like, oh God.
And we're out.
Why do you put that? Everyone has dumb, stupid, horrible thoughts. Don't say them out loud, you idiot.
Because people are fucking awful.
Oh,
That's
God.
why.
And I can understand, here's a link to the nude pic of this actress. And I'm just like, let's talk about the film rather than, whether she had a nip slip 10 years ago. It basically made me think there's 3 people who like a film and 72,000 guys that are horny for one character.
And that's what they're on the internet for.
Exactly.
So.
Now, the best thing they ever did on IMDb is under the young ones.
Okay.
They said post a comment as a that has been deleted as a young one's character. In other words, this comment has been deleted because of a double negative reality inversion.
Okay.
This comment has been deleted by Trevor, my friend who lives in the bin. Because you'd go through there and you'd be following a thread and it says deleted by administrator because apparently they, somebody did something stupid. So they started a whole thread that went on for pages and pages. This comment has been deleted because my suit of armor still has flares. That is where comments I miss that. That's the upside, the good side of comments. And
Yeah.
sometimes you'll find that kind of thing on YouTube.
That's what Twitter is actually decent for. Sometimes you'll get some really great comment zings, and you get the thread, the post, and then a good comment, and it's like, oh, beautiful.
A bunch of us did like an Inception thing with Nick and I and Gene and a whole bunch of stuff. Like, we're trying to raise awareness. My friend is trying to raise awareness, and it got to the point where my friend who's my friend trying to raise, and it went on to the point where it was like an echo chamber. Like the thread, like each post was like 9 pages long because it copied everyone else's plea to raise awareness or something. The internet can be wonderful, but for the most part, it's shit.
Yeah, it's pretty awful.
And even shittier since, well,
sends you down many rabbit holes.
Our president,
many.
All right, I'm not going there.
Don't go
Solo. Galaxy far,
Star
far
Wars.
away.
Oh, okay. which until 2020, I kind of wish I'd be in. All right, there we go.
Okay,
I won't go
so
any
back to
further.
that.
Back to
One
that.
thing that surprised me was we never got an explanation of the dice.
No,
They just exist.
He
But
just
you know
had
what?
them.
Not everything has to be explained down to the last.
That's true, and
he just had them, and
that was his little talisman.
his thing.
Maybe that's
and they used it as a plot device when she palms them to him to let him know that I'm with you.
I'm
on
with
this.
you. Yeah.
So
At least partially.
it worked out
right
nicely.
until I have to leave and
Exactly.
So now
And-
oh, go ahead.
No, and well, talking about explaining things down to the origin, I actually do like how we get Solo, the name Solo.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Was that canon before?
I don't think so.
Oh yeah,
I don't think so.
So I like
That's
how that
true.
came.
That's
I like
true.
That
That
came
was
about.
pretty.
I'm
that
by
was,
myself.
Who are your people? Who are your people? Well, I have no people.
Yeah, because he was just a.
Solo.
He could have been called Han Loner. See what I did there?
I saw it.
You saw what I did there. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that's the thing that people weren't. I can't wait to find out how he got his name. We weren't looking for that.
No, we didn't
And
think
we-
that was a thing.
And we
Well,
got
yeah,
it.
you assume that's just
That was
that's
his name.
people. Yeah.
Oh, are you from the Corellia Solos? Oh, yes, we used to.
Because I mean, if you think about it, Kira doesn't seem to have a last name either.
Now,
She
and
was
it's
just Kira.
possible that that's the thing on Corellia, that there are no last
Surnames,
names. There
yeah.
are no surnames.
And maybe that was like to go deep into it, maybe like an Ellis Island thing where the Empire is like, no, you're going to have 2 names and that's your people, and
Exactly.
you're going to be, so we can catalog you
right.
better.
We got to track you, so we're going to give you this name, and there you go. That kind of thing. I'm down with that.
it was. I enjoyed that a lot.
I'm down with that. Now, where do you think Kara went after at the end of the film, where she went off? Do you think she went to?
She went to Mall.
Monsignor Mall.
Oh yeah.
Do you think she went to the mall?
Yeah. She
went-
probably. I don't. If you think about it, I don't really think she actually double crossed Han. She might have realized, look, I got to go deal with this. Like she's taken over. She's like, I'm going to kill that guy and take his spot, but that means I'm under.
Right. I'm
Maul's
not
thumb.
gonna fuck you over,
And I'm not gonna drag you into
But I'm not
that
gonna bring
shit.
you into it, and I can't leave with you because then I'll bring.
Yeah.
So I'm.
You
going,
won't last against Maul.
Exactly.
I might because I've been around it. So
Exactly.
I can maneuver
Yeah.
that world.
Yeah.
Another thing we got the origins of
Yeah.
the rebellion.
Yeah.
That was
Infant's Nest.
One of that's the rebellion. The rebellion started, if you go by Rebels, Star Wars Rebels, a bunch of little factions that eventually
coalesced.
joined together. Yeah,
So
so that was
she's
one
of the factions,
Absolutely,
exactly.
yeah.
So that's a nice.
That's pretty
little,
hip.
That's
yeah.
a nice little touch.
And I
there.
think they even said something about a rebellion.
Yeah, well,
You
that,
should
they
join.
did. They,
He's like, oh,
exactly.
that's not me.
It's like, this is enough to power, a fleet of starships, or a rebellion,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Right.
And I was like, oh, so is this going to be the? Got it. And of course, Kira had the little,
the
Brand.
brand,
the little sexy
Crimson Dawn
the little
tattoo.
the little sexy tattoo thing.
Yeah. Brand is more. Accurate.
Was it a brand?
I think
so. Yeah,
That's what it
'cause
looked like.
They reference it. Someone references like, oh, I see you have this. You haven't shown it to L337. brought it up.
Yeah, that's right. When they were in the cockpit talking about it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She's
All
like,
right. She's
so
very observant.
I also I think one of the things that also made me laugh out loud was I've got 30 men in that ship right there, and once after, boop, gone. Lando's like, fuck all you people.
He backs up,
and Han is like, okay, do your thing.
Yeah. Go back to what you were doing.
And that's the beauty.
That was great.
Han is so, like, even in especially in the saga, like he's not good at stuff all the time.
Right.
Stuff works out, but I mean, hot wiring the door on Endor, it's like he closes the other blast door.
Exactly.
And getting caught up in Force Awakens, I love that whole scene. He's like, how many times, I'm glad you're here. It's like, you've double-crossed us again, and you owe, I love the fact that he just gets the shit beat out of him all the time, and he never got any better.
Does this place have a trash compactor?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. So let's talk about Sabacc.
Okay.
Let's talk about that card game.
Sabacc.
The second card game.
The second card game.
The second card game.
Yes.
And I'm glad you said the second card game, because I'm actually happy that Han didn't win the ship the first time.
Of course, well,
because we all know he gets the ship at some point.
Right.
So we're like, oh, this is it. No, it's not.
And I like the fact
they did some fake outs.
That Han didn't, like, he was good at the game, and he
Right.
didn't cheat to win the Falcon. And that Lando was cheating, and then Han was like, all right, if that's what we're doing. Yes, the second game was beautiful.
As soon as he did that clutch before the second game, I went, he's got the card. He's got the card.
Yeah, because they show it. They actually
yeah.
zoom in and show it.
Well, because
and
when he was
notices
welcoming him, he looked down and saw it real quick and went, got it.
Now I know.
Now I know how he won.
Yep.
And we got. I mean, that was the last
got
thing
everything
that
you need there,
everyone
buddy?
was waiting. Like, I needed this, and this in the Solo film, but I'm missing this. Oh, he's coming back. Oh, now and now he gets the Falcon.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
That was a beautiful thing.
And like I said, I like the fact in the first game that he didn't cheat. He was good at the game.
Yeah.
He just did it fair and square, and
He was
Lando
literally
lost.
counting cards.
Yeah,
He kind of was cheating.
And he didn't cheat in the second one either. It was
Exactly.
even.
Exactly.
So, I mean, he's a
cheated.
scoundrel, but he's not. At least not a cheat at cards.
Right, and he
that's how you took it? I took it that he did cheat the second time. He just
How?
took his
Well,
card.
he did. He
took Lando's card.
He took Lando's.
Oh, did he use it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
He used. Yeah, that's how he won.
Oh,
he used Lando's whole card.
I didn't catch that.
The ace up the sleeve.
I
yeah.
thought he.
But that's cool. You took it as he took the card and threw it away and won fair and square.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, he absolutely used
Oh,
it.
he used it.
He used
Yeah,
it
he
to just
used the
drill
card.
it. Like,
Oh.
it's like, remember this? How you fucked me the last time? So here you go.
That's why Han says, you got everything you need there?
Yeah.
And you just see him like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Oh, because I thought he okay.
no, he absolutely.
Oh,
used it.
all right. Turnabout is fair play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's. So he did cheat, but
only because he got cheated on before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
well, two wrongs do make something.
Yeah, double negative.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, then I guess Han's not as as ethical as I thought he was, but he does shoot first.
He does. He
Oh,
did.
yes,
he
he
full
does.
on took him out. Like,
And I love how they put that in there to just let us know we can't. We're not going to go back and retcon Lucas's retcon.
but we'll give you.
but
We'll give this to
we'll
you.
give this to you. He shoots first, and he shoots first.
And Beckett gave him that gun.
He did.
That's the
As soon
gun,
as I,
the
that
gun
is,
that he had.
that is the
That's
solo gun.
Yeah.
That is the
And
one that we
Beckett
see
gave
in
it
A
to
New
him.
Hope.
Yep.
Exactly. Thermal detonators. We get the solo gun.
Yep.
It was very satisfying viewing. For
Absolutely.
me.
I
Yeah.
loved it. I really enjoyed
Small plot hole.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe not a plot hole. I don't know.
it. Okay.
How do they find him? How does Han and Chewie find Lando at the end? He just Lando just leaves.
He's back at the
And then how do they even
playing
get off
the
the
card
planet?
game.
How they get? But they're
It
not.
was at a different place.
A
It was
whole different place.
But I mean, he
Through
knows
the
people.
underground, yeah.
There's talk. That's one of the things that you don't really need.
Put it this way.
Okay. Well, I'm
Lando's
just like, where to get the ship? I guess.
Lando's not subtle. He definitely is a presence. So I would think
Notice
everything you've heard about
the
Lando
capes.
is true.
is everything.
Everything you've heard about Lando. Oh, are we going to talk about that?
Well, what?
That Lando is pansexual?
That was a thing. Yeah, that was a. Is it like said in the movie
No,
at all?
no,
It was
there's-
just a thing, right?
I think people are grabbing on the fact that L's thing about he has a thing for me.
Yeah,
I took it as just being boastful and like, oh yeah, I'm so awesome. He has a thing for me, but it'll I just thought it was just talking shit.
Mm-hmm.
And people might have said, yeah, maybe he did. Maybe he wants to.
But there was all kinds of talk and articles about using that word, pansexual, and it's like, it makes sense if you watch Lando's character. Like he's Captain Jack Harkness. He's just, I don't care. It's like I'm attracted to everybody.
What I consider
and everything
pansexual in a science fiction setting is any species of any gender.
Right.
It's just like whatever works.
Right.
Now here on Earth, if you say pansexual, that opens up. I don't know how it's defined.
I don't know. Is it even a thing? I'm sure it is to a degree, but I don't.
Yeah, see, I don't know. There's so many, cisgender was something that was,
That's new.
brought to my attention in the last
new to
5
me,
years.
anyway.
I'm like, okay, I just thought it was.
But that's just us.
Yeah,
We're cisgender.
We're
Yeah, but I've heard it, and I'm like, what is cisgender? I don't know.
Literally,
CIS.
It's literally yeah. And I didn't know how to spell it at first, but I just heard it.
Mm-hmm.
But when I realized, I was like, oh, it's just me. Got it. Okay.
Literally, the first time I ever heard that term was when we had Ellery Yeagley from Blue Stocking Society on talking about it, and I was like, okay, I don't know what that means. Please educate me as to what that is.
Right. And I think that's great because it's being able to, because humans do this, they want to label everything and what they are, and calling someone cisgendered is not holding them up as the default. You know what I mean? Like everyone, straight is the default and everyone else is something else. Yes. Now everybody is a thing and there is no default.
And I
think that's cool.
Yeah, it's just like everything else. It should be a spectrum and not,
Right. Not a core that all the
everything is an offshoot of.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just
it's
fluid,
the spectrum.
Yeah,
exactly. So who knows? Maybe Lando's, those capes.
Yeah,
you never know.
Like I said, any port in a storm.
He's got a little saucy Liberace thing going there. He's like,
But he was hitting on Leia in Cloud City real hard. So
yeah. Who knows? Maybe if Han hadn't quote unquote swindled him out of the Falcon, maybe he'd be hitting on Han.
Yeah,
who knows?
So
and. Good for him. I don't know how Donald would feel about that. I'm sure he'd be fine.
I'm sure he'd be fine with it.
He'd be fine about that.
Yep.
Yeah. And he apparently is very keen on doing a Lando standalone, which I wouldn't mind. It's adventures in that universe.
Yeah.
Obviously, Lando wasn't quite as well developed as I would have liked in Empire.
Right.
You got a bit more now. So there's a foundation there,
But give that character his due.
And I feel like this movie has set up spin-offs all over the board.
Over the board.
Maybe not movies, maybe some animated.
There's
another animated series coming out.
There is.
So hopefully,
and there's been talk about a Star Wars TV series for decades.
Well, there's
but the problem is that I don't think it should be.
It's happening.
That's happening.
John Favreau is doing it.
No, I thought the Game of Thrones guys were doing them.
No, they're doing another movie series.
I thought it was a TV series, but okay.
No, they were given the next
because Ryan Johnson's got the trilogy.
Yeah, he's doing a new trilogy. There's also movies by the Game of Thrones guys and a TV series by Favreau.
My problem
you want to talk
with
about
perhaps
saturation?
Having a TV series is that you can't skimp on the budget.
Right.
Because, if it takes $250 million to make Solo, you can't do a hour-long episode of TV for like $1.5 million and keep the production visually complementary to the series.
Yeah.
I feel like because all of this is under the same umbrella that they'll just be using older props.
And it's possible that
they're already created. There's not a budget to make.
Well, keep in mind a lot of these things and sets. It's not like, well, let's just put them in the warehouse. Some of these things get taken out, recycled, or auctioned off in some cases.
Well, again, Disney's got a couple of bucks to rub.
They have a few dollars,
so they're not. They can do it.
But when you think about it, they have the Infinity Gauntlet too.
Right.
They have that. That's
literally
part of it.
Yeah.
They literally have.
But that's why the animated stuff is so good because they can do it. The CG stuff it gives it a stylistic look. But
Have
they can get away with
what?
Any of the animated stuff?
No. I still haven't watched the second season of Jessica Jones, and I'm dying to see it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was good.
You know, yeah. I just there's not enough hours in the day. I'm trying to run a business and actually read and.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got to stop reading those books.
No. I will. If it's between books and never seeing Jessica Jones, I will choose the books. I'm sorry. I mean, I love me some Kristen Ritter, but sorry, I got to go with my books. But yeah, I'll get to this stuff eventually. Like I said, I'm a fan, but I'm not like psycho. I've watched the holiday special once and never frickin' again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it alone.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch it.
You've never watched it at all? You know what? You could probably find online.
I'm sure
just
it's on YouTube.
Don't you have it? I can just borrow yours.
Just the Boba Fett cartoon. Watch that.
Yeah.
That's fun.
No, the whole thing is on YouTube.
The rest is. Oh, is it? Okay.
Oh yeah,
The rest of
the
it
entire
is
thing
just-
is on YouTube.
Really, I would have thought Lucasfilm would have had that pulled.
It doesn't exist. No, it's up there.
How can we pull it if it never
it's-
happened?
It's one of those things where I am old enough. I saw it when it aired, and at the time, I was like, "This is the greatest thing I've ever seen." It's Star Wars on TV, and then it was, 20 years later that I actually found it at a convention. I was like, "Oh, I wonder why." On VHS. I was like, "Why?" They? And then watched it. It was like, "Oh no,
that's why."
it's pretty awful. Like
well,
on
with the production they have these days
exactly.
on TV shows, like Netflix has Lost in Space.
I actually finished the first season.
I did too,
and it's decent.
I like that.
And I'm like, well, we'll talk about Lost in Space some other time.
I'll
but
jump
yeah,
on that so we can.
It was well done. It was decent.
Okay.
It was decent. Parker Posey, love that woman.
Yep.
So with the end of the film, we have the seed planted of
going to Tatooine.
Right. I'm going to be on Tatooine.
There's a job.
There's a job. There's a gangster there. And, of course, we all know, boom, that's how he gets in and probably cuts his teeth seriously on the smuggling business, working for the Hutts, and at some point has to drop his load. The debt is owed, and then we segue into A New Hope.
The one decent addition to the special editions was, forget the terrible CG, was
that horrible going over the tail.
Forget all that, but seeing that relationship between him and Jabba, like seeing that he's one of his top guys, and they had a relationship going on, and that's why when he dumped the spice and that's why Jabba was like, nope, I'm gonna get you your carbonite block and hang it on my wall because I'm a badass. So so they have planted the seed for that whole thing.
Right. So the question is, we get Han at the end of Solo. Let's say 25, shall we say? Maybe?
Well, how old is he supposed to be in A New Hope?
I don't
30 something.
I mean, Harrison Ford.
I don't know.
He keeps calling Luke Skywalker kid.
Yeah,
and he's 18-ish.
18-ish. So I think he's around 30, maybe.
So let's just say, for sake of argument,
if 18-ish, they're twins. Him and Leia are twins. He's just a 30-year-old going after an 18.
Well,
Han is attracted to Leia,
right?
But Leia and Luke are twins,
right?
So I'm just looking at acknowledging the age gap. If
you do know 30. that Harrison Ford was stooping Carrie Fisher.
No. I'm just saying in the Star Wars world. I'm not talking about in real.
Okay.
Yeah, Carrie was like 26 at the time.
Oh,
23.
God,
no, 22.
No.
She was. This was her first thing.
Yeah, she was. Well, not the very first thing, but she was.
She was over 18 though.
She was over 18, but she was young, and he was in his early 30s and married.
Yeah.
So, and this only came out, after.
I have that book. I read that book.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was interesting.
So, but basically, the reason I brought this up is because we are led to believe that he probably went to Tatooine to hook up with Tobias and work for the Hutts.
Right.
So we have a period of time where he can age, become the Han Solo that we see in A New Hope. Because it's not like he went there, got a load, dropped it, and we're right into A New Hope.
No.
Right.
There's a period of time
Yes,
where he
definitely.
That's what I mean.
He gets more cocky. He gets more assured. He has more adventures.
And with that scene of Jabba, we realize that he's worked for him a bunch.
Right, exactly.
It's not just he did that one job.
Right,
And
there's
it
a
fucked up.
rapport. He's his number one guy.
Look, I'm good for it. That's what he says.
Exactly. And he does know that
And
he's
Jabba's
good.
like, you're my boy, but
You know.
fuck me off, fuck me up again, and I'll send Boba Fett after.
Well,
you.
that's or Bosk. Don't forget Bosk.
Bosk, yeah.
That's a plot point in a lot of these gangster films where the Don, the big guy, knows his underling is fucking up, and he's trying to, he wants to save face, but he knows, like, God, don't make me have to kill you or kill your parents or whatever. I got a soft spot for you, but don't push it. That's kind of how, they were portraying Jabba in there.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that's a very fertile ground for Solo 2, if it ever gets made, meeting up with Jabba and that period of time between him first setting foot on Tatooine and when we get him in Mos Eisley meeting up with Obi and Luke.
Have the end of do 3 movies, and at the end of the 3rd movie be the one where he has to dump the spice and piss off Jabba.
I'm gonna say probably we're not gonna get a Solo trilogy. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, most likely not. I hope we'll get another one. I really do. I enjoy it.
The thing is that there's so many other stories they want to tell. Boba Fett's like, by the time they get back to Solo, maybe Ermin Trout, whatever his name is.
Yes, Ermin Trout
has aged too much. I mean, I don't know. There's certain.
And again, we're only 2 weeks in of the box office,
right?
So we'll see.
But I tell you, I've been following box office, and when they put a projection out, it's pretty accurate.
Yeah,
because they it's. So $500 million, still not too shabby.
No,
but when you consider a $250 million budget plus promotion plus I guess not so much prints anymore because everything's digital now.
Yeah.
For the most part, that definitely cuts down on costs. But there's a lot of and of course there's revenue that comes in from all these advertising tie-ins.
Yeah.
It's not like Denny's said, "All right, we'll let you be a part of our company."
No.
Denny's is paying money for that.
Right.
Oh yes.
So
they needed the.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
They need the.
Like
the
I said,
traffic.
we didn't even know there was Denny's anymore. Much
as
less.
far as I know, there's only one Denny's in Atlanta because apparently Denny's has a reputation in the African American community as being racist as hell.
Yeah, it
Apparently.
was hard for me to go in there. I was like, ooh,
Yeah,
but I want the Star Wars cup.
Oh,
yeah,
I
I
didn't
want the
even
Star
know.
Wars Cup. So obviously in Atlanta, Denny's is not going to be too popular.
Gotcha.
When I was growing up though, after going to a club or a concert or anything, when the bars let out, boom, Denny's would go from 5 people to packed with a line waiting because
Right.
everyone wants to eat greasy shitty food at 2:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
You know how it is.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
All right. So how we were talking about L being part of the the Falcon now in the Navicomputer.
Yeah, I love that. I thought that was really,
That was interesting.
really.
Now
really-
we don't hear her after that, in the film.
No, but do you know that there is like a weird reverse engineered callback to that? In Empire, 3PO says, "I don't know where your Navicomputer learned to speak, but it has the strangest dialect I've ever heard."
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
But they say that only talk to computers in
Yeah.
computer
Yeah.
language. I'm wondering what the reunion between Elle and Lando was in Empire as they go off in the Falcon to look for.
Interesting.
Yeah, because that's the reunion
When they go to the desk to take out the Death Star. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh no, that's when they go to take out the. I'm talking about the end of Empire when
Right.
they leave in the Falcon.
Oh yeah,
To try to
yeah.
find
go to Tatooine. Yeah.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
And when we have Luke and Leia kind of cuddling, and we don't know yet that they're brother and sister.
Mm-hmm. I got one more thing I got to talk about.
All right,
before we
what's
get
that?
to thing.
What's that?
Did you notice that the disguise that Lando was using
Is exactly the one he used in Return of the Jedi.
Why do you have that? That's
Hey,
kinda
No, because Beckett had it.
Beckett had that's right.
Beckett had
But-
it, and then he came out. Yeah, so
yeah, I was like,
Hey,
that's the fucking.
that's how he has that.
He has a cape closet, but he also has other. He keeps a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
and he's very sentimental about that stuff.
Right.
So I'm imagining that when they get into the Falcon at the end of Empire, and he, quote unquote, reunites with Elle, the first thing he says is,
"Medication time. Medication time."
We ran out of time. I will tell you in a few parsecs.
The 9 Billion Names of Pod was conceived, written, and performed by Michael Reed and Dan Bauman, with Abdul Beni Hassan as the sound of splintering wood. Research, transportation, and exasperated looks by Courtney Lohner. Technical assistance by Cubase, Pro Tools, Skynet, QLab, Deep Thought, Big Brother, and Eddie, your shipboard computer. Financial consideration provided by the Wayne Foundation, Stark Industries, the Piranha Brothers, and LexCorp. Legal counsel by the offices of Howard and Fine. Lobot, a Star Wars story. That's what I want to see.
Yeah. Dancing Lobot.
Our intro music was written by Tim Akers. This podcast is sponsored by Deep Shack Records and is a production of Audio Primate. Throw us a couple stars on iTunes, why don't you? Listen, watch on YouTube, listen on SoundCloud, stream us on Stitcher, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or email us, comlink@billionpod.com. Until this happens again, I'm Dan Bauman.
I'm Paul McPherson.
I'm Michael Reed.
Hello, too.
Audio Primate.